MarrChase was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, 5th overall in the 2021 NFL Draft. Standing at 6 foot, 201 pounds, Chase is typically described by analysts as playing bigger than his size. This type of vernacular can make it difficult to assess one player and the next player in terms of this idea of playing bigger than your size. This is where I think a player problem solver lens can really help us get a little bit more clarification as to what that might mean. There are two areas of the game, specifically within Chase's game, where I think he really does exhibit this ability to play at a very physical and high level. And I think we're going to go ahead and see how this might play out in the exposures that I have to follow. Remember, we're using a player problem solver paradigm, so we're looking at the solutions from a more holistic standpoint. We're looking at the compatibility of the solution. Essentially, we're looking at how adequate and accurate it was in meeting the demands of the task, but also adapting to the information on the field as it changed and as it unfolded. In addition, we're also looking at the execution of the movements themselves. How well did the player demonstrate resourcefulness and rationality? How well did their solution actually match the moment-by-moment changes as the problem unfolded, as opportunities emerged and decay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this play. The play we have queued up here is a gun left, tight end right, 2x2 formation. You have Chase right here in the number 1 position on the right-hand side. This game is LSU versus Alabama. This is a big game. It's late in the season. It is occurring in November, so this is really both teams striving to make the playoffs. And there's a lot of pressure riding on this game, and LSU is on the road. So let's go ahead and take a look at this play and see if we can identify one of the key factors I think that MarrChase brings to the table. No doubt this was an incredible play by MarrChase, and I think within this play we see one really interesting part of his game that I think is why he's attributed with this capability of playing bigger than his size. Specifically, it has to do mostly with his ability to be sensitive and to understand how to manage collisions throughout the stem of his route. So if we take a look at this play, he does a great job attacking leverage. He recognizes that they're in man-to-man coverage. He immediately attacks the leverage of the defender, and he begins to get downfield. As he's getting downfield, he makes a fantastic catch for the touchdown. But right here is where I want to focus. If you zoom in right here and we take a look at what's going on, notice how well Chase is adapting to the collisions and the types of redirections that the defender is trying to attempt on Chase as he's running his route. Chase does a great job of managing several pieces of information all at once. On the one hand, he has to manage the forces through each one of these collisions. He has to manage the forces through his body, maintain his balance and his speed down the field, whilst also being aware of where he is relative to the sideline. Because if he gets too close to the sideline, he's going to end up compromising the passing window for his quarterback. So managing the sideline, managing the forces and the collisions through his body, while also tracking the football through the air, there is an immense amount of information that's changing throughout the landscape of this play. As he attacks downfield, he is constantly being bombarded with new information. He constantly is trying to make sure that he redirects those collision attempts while also tracking the ball well down the field. And it's his ability to do all three of these that gives him this ability to attack the ball at its highest point. He's able to keep all of this information coupled together with his movement, and that allows him to make this play. So when we talk about playing bigger than his size, I think one of the reasons why he gets that type of quality attributed to him is because of his incredible ability to manage the collisions between him and the defender downfield while still maintaining the integrity of the passing window and making the catch. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other exposures where you'll have a chance to see Chase in action displaying the same type of sensitivity and attunement and overall skill as a receiver. So here we are in a gun right, tight end left, 3-by-1 formation. Chase is right here again in the number 1 receiver position. This is the national championship game. And again, take a look at how he's able to couple his movement correctly to all of them as the play unfolds. He's able to manage the collisions of the defender while tracking the ball in the air and maintaining the passing window's integrity from the sideline. Here we go. Another outstanding effort by MarrChase, but there's one element of his game that I want to look at a little bit deeper. Specifically here at the line of scrimmage, he often gives up collisions initially to the defender. And while at this level he's able to handle it because of his strength and overall balance and skill at the line of scrimmage, I do think at the next level this is an area of development for him. And one way for them to potentially develop this is by putting the defensive back in different positions around MarrChase. Maybe putting him a little bit closer, even in a position that might be considered, not in the proper rules of the game, but maybe just by putting the defender closer, it might help to allow Chase to explore different potential solutions at the line of scrimmage where he has to avoid the collision initially. Because I think at the next level, this type of collision with a stronger, faster defensive back could really prove difficult to overcome. Let's go ahead and take a look at another exposure where MarrChase illustrates this ability to problem solve and play bigger than his size. All right, so here we are in a gun right 3x1 set with MarrChase sitting here at the number 1 wide receiver position at the top of the screen. As you can see here, Clemson LSU national championship game. Clemson is in a cover 1 zone match type scheme. And as you can see at the top of the screen, this defender is glued on to MarrChase. He's all over him. And what I want you to notice at the top of the screen again is notice how Chase again exhibits its skill in managing collisions and managing the sideline and managing the trajectory of the ball and adapting to all of these informational sources at once as he moves from the beginning of the play to the end of the play. Let's take a look. So right here, you could see that he gives up a little bit of an initial collision to the defender, but he's always quick to redirect, adapt, and get downfield. Notice how he maintains that distance from the sideline while also maintaining his separation from the defender, which gives him the window that the quarterback needs to throw into.